What's going on, everybody? It's Dan here with another Moonshine talking. Hope everybody's having a good day heading into the weekend. I know most people here are probably not practitioners, but if you are, whether you aren't, it's not really a big issue to me. Hope you have a happy Easter weekend. If you're not a big believer in Catholicism, Christianity, whatever the case might be, that's fine. It's a good time to spend time with friends and family, get together with people. I personally won't be doing that because I got to work, but that's usually the case. If you hear in the background, I got some Abath playing. I mentioned that previously that I got that first solo album. That thing's killer. So I'm playing that a little bit, just trying something different, just having a little something playing in the background. Uh, it's been a cool day so far today. Nice sunny day here in Tampa. I can't really complain too much. Figured I'd stop with the cloak and dagger shit. And basically, I live in Tampa, so instead of saying, "Oh, I live around in Central Florida," I live in Tampa. It's like I'm not worried about people come knocking on my door to come find me. I'm a very boring and laid back individual for the most part, so I don't really got to worry about much. But yeah, it's been a cool, nice sunny day. Beyond some dumb work stuff, it's been a pretty good day. Can't really complain too much. I do have a funny story though. So, thought I lost my glasses today because I usually wear riding glasses when I'm out driving around getting stuff done. So I'm kind of freaking out, as one might imagine. Prescription eyeglasses are expensive, as many of you who wear them, they're not cheap. They're not getting cheaper. So I was kind of freaking out a little bit, looking around in the truck, trying to figure out where I dropped them because I had just had them not too long before. And it turns out they were in the bed of the truck. Don't know how they got there, not really worrying about it. So I pull out my cloth to clean them off. And just as I'm doing that, just so I can check to see if there's any scratches or anything, which there really weren't. There might be some superficial, but neither here nor there. As I grab the cloth to wipe them down a little bit, a gust of wind takes the cloth and drops it into a puddle. I laughed. I said, "Of course. Why would that not happen?" So it was kind of funny. I laugh. I write all this stuff down to kind of keep track of it. This helps because I can keep track of all these stupid stories that happen. I don't know, maybe I'll compile them into some sort of coffee table book or put them in a script and all the dumb shit that happens that randomly occurs in my life that's either funny or tragic or just is amusing, entertaining, whatever the case might be. Yeah, so that was that. What I'm doing, what we're talking about right now is we're going to do a couple of album reviews. I'm not going to try to take up too much of y'all's time because it's the weekend. I'm sure a lot of people want to enjoy their lives. I'm going to be working out here in a minute. I'm going to drink on some C4 here. It's beach muscle day, so that's what we're doing today. Going to work on the arms and all that stuff. I was watching earlier today. I was watching one of Drucifer, who's got a killer channel. I'm sure most of you know about it, but check it out if you haven't. He's got a great channel. He was doing six essential Black and Speed thrash metal albums. Got talking about Venom, which totally agree. Venom is the top of the list. I just mentioned how sometimes people they shit on Venom and how much they all think they're a joke or a little too, not to be taken seriously, not good musicians. Venom rule. So I had to wear the shirt. Of course, the sleeves are cut off because I think it was an XL or a large, and I don't really fit in those anymore. So I'll just cut the sleeves off, use them when I work out a little bit. But anyhow, enough babble. Let's get into the reviews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do both the new Saxon and the new Judas Priest that just came out. I know a lot of people have already done reviews on both of them. I wanted to give them a little bit of time to listen to them, kind of set in, and let's be honest. If you've seen 1,000 reviews on these things, 1,001's not going to kill you. So if you don't want to watch it, I'll see you next time. It was cool. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. But if you stick around, yeah, we're going to start off with the Saxon. It's Hellfire and Damnation. Came out earlier, a couple months ago, I want to say. Came out on Silver Lining Music, which I'm not really familiar with the label. It's got, let me move to my notes here a little bit. It's got Biff Bifford, Doug Scarrett, Brian Tatler on guitars, Nibs Carter on bass, and Nigel Get the Glockler on drums. And yeah, it was good. It's Andy Sneap and Biff Bifford produced it. Coincidentally enough, Andy Sneap also produced, recorded, and mixed the Priest album. So that was a fun little factoid to keep in the back there. Um, this one's gonna be pretty short. I'm sure most of you have seen the album. That's that. That's the back. There's the boys. Uh, I really, for the most part, I wasn't totally impressed with the album. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It didn't blow my socks off. By and large, it was to me just it was background music. I mean, I listened to it a bunch of times, and there was nothing that really grabbed my attention other than I would say Hellfire and Damnation, the title track. That was awesome. Kind of it really likened back to Painkiller era Judas Priest, which I really enjoyed. The riffs on it really kind of made me think of that. They're real similar, not rip off and plagiaristic, but they had that vibe to them, that feel. So I really enjoyed that. Then it went into Madame Guillotine, which was really cool. I like the riffs on that, the rhythms, the vocal stylings, and the placement of everything. It was really good. But then after that, it was just kind of very average, very bland. I can't really, I'm not trying to shit on the band or say that it was a bad album. Again, I know a lot of people like this album, but it just didn't really do a whole lot for me. I did, Witches of Salem was all right. Supercharger was a good closer, but again, most of it just really didn't grab me by the balls and make me like scream, uh, as one would if you get grabbed by the balls. But that's neither here nor there. Sometimes you got to pay extra for that sort of thing, but again, neither here nor there. But yeah, it was fine, but it just didn't do much for me other than a couple of songs. I did enjoy that the intro to it, the Prophecy. It had Brian Blessed from Flash Gordon fame. He was Zoltan, the leader of the Hawk People, which that was really cool. That was a before I actually heard the album. Saw Thralls of Metal did a review on it, and I thought that was really kind of cool. And I know at one point on the Pirates of the Airwaves song at the beginning, you hear a little thing. I think it's a snippet from Flash Gordon, but I hear Brian Bless' voice again. So that was cool. But beyond that, I mean, again, it really didn't do too much for me. So I'm not going to go into great depth and detail about the album. If you liked it, let me know what you liked about it. If you agree with me that it just didn't, it was just kind of there. It's kind of background music. But I'm not really familiar with Saxon too much. I know Wheels of Steel and I know Denim and Leather, the songs, but beyond that, even though they've been around since '75 and put out a shit ton of albums, I'm really not familiar with them. But this was one of the first ones that I checked out from them, bought as far as a full length, and it didn't do much for me. So that's that. That's my Saxon review. That's why it's going to be a double header here. And then going into the Priest one, I'm gonna pull up my notes here so I can play along. So Invincible Shield. This came out recently. Uh, Again, I know a ton of people have done reviews on this thing already, so that's one more again will not hurt anyone. And I know some people like they didn't really want to do reviews on it because so many people were jumping on trying to be the first and do like that whole news thing and being the first ones to report on it. I just figured, I'll do a review on it. I'll try to be as quick as possible for the sake of time and brevity. Um, Again, it came up. It's from Sony. Sony put it out. Andy Sneap produced it, recorded, mixed it. It's the same band that they've had for a few years now. Halford on vocals, Glenn Tipton, Richie Faulkner, Ian Hill on bass, Scott Travis on drums. I mean, overall, the musicianship, what do you say? It's Priest. Supreme. The twin leads, the rhythms, the riffs. Scott Travis's drumming is off the chain. You just can't go wrong with that. Um, The production values are, of course, top notch, as you would expect from a band like Priest that has been around forever, since most of us were kids, and most of us probably have older brothers, cousins, or even probably some of you have parents who grew up listening to Priest. They're icons, they're staples of heavy metal. The metal gods. You can't really say too much about them that hasn't been said already. Da, da, da. I will say I hate the packaging on this thing because I got into this comical situation of trying to pull the disc out at times, and you see right there, it goes right into where the where the booklet is. So it just turned into a ridiculous comedy of errors that could have been avoided. I would have certainly appreciated a better setup than that, but small potatoes. Uh, Panic Attack was the first single that I heard. It's a good opener. Again, another song very reminiscent of Painkiller. Enjoyed it. Serpent the King was up next. I believe that was the second song that I heard off of this. It's good, but it's not my favorite song on the album. I really didn't like the melody of the chorus to it. It's just kind of, to me, just cheesy and lame. I just didn't like it that much. I mean, there's a ton more stronger songs, and that's kind of like the overarching theme, of my opinion, on this album. Is the stuff that has been released on video, YouTube and digitally and all that sort of stuff. It's good, but it's not the best stuff on the album. So I recommend people go out and buy this album because the stuff that you're not probably, people who aren't really digging deep into the stuff, if you're just going surface level and looking at the new Priest, then you're not going to really hear some of the more choice stuff on it. So that's why I recommend picking this up. I'll just get that out there right out of the gate. Invincible Shield it's a good one. Fast paced, real charging song. Again, not my favorite thing on the same with Devil in Disguise. That was, yeah, it was nothing special. There's nothing special about it that really stands out. Gates of Hell was really good. I love the vocal and guitar melodies on it. The bridges, if I'm saying that correctly, I'm not a musician, so someone can correct me if you want. They were all great on the song. My favorite song on the album comes up next, Crown of Horns. I don't know if it was just me, but did anybody else get a two tickets to paradise feel at the beginning of the song? Because that was when that melody kicks in right at the beginning. That's the first thing I that's the first thing I thought. I was sitting in my kitchen listening to it at first. I was just thinking about that. Um, Actually, kind of a sidebar here. I don't know. Does anybody else like Eddie Money? Do you find that a guilty pleasure? Because I enjoy Eddie Money. He's a good, as far as '80s soft rock, late '70s, early '80s soft rock goes. He's great. I mean, if you even as far as some of the other stuff that's out there from the time, I can't really get into a lot of the '80s stuff, but stuff like that, as far as that goes, that style, that genre, he's probably the best amongst them. And I enjoy that. That's probably as far as if anybody were wondering if I had any guilty pleasures as far as music goes, that'd probably be one of those things that would surprise people that I actually do kind of enjoy a little bit. That's kind of outside of the norm of metal and hard rock and things of that nature. But yeah, that was the first thing that I heard. It's probably, to me, it's the most commercially viable song on the album. It's the one that probably I feel like should be on radio to get people hooked into buying the album. It's it's just got it's so good, and it's got almost kind of like it's an uplifting vibe to it. Like that's kind of the weird thing with this album is it's got like the thematically it's got like a very uplifting, almost dare I say, spiritual, kind of positive vibe. Same thing, even going with the Saxon. There was lots of like almost like overarching religious themes to both of these albums. And, as far as talking about the battle between good and evil, heaven and hell, I'm sure there's somebody who probably say, oh, duality of mankind, all that sort of thing, really go deep with the philosophy and all that sort of stuff. But I noticed that in both albums. And sometimes that'd be expected. You get older, you start thinking about stuff like that, especially if you really start getting older, you get thinking of, what's out there once we pass on, what do we expect once we all shuffle the mortal coil, that sort of thing, but without getting too deep and philosophical or even depressing for people. It just seemed like that was an overarching theme to both albums, but this one especially. But going back to the song, very anthemic. I can really see when when they get to the part where about the raising the horns up high. I could see Halford on stage really getting people to start throwing their horns up and pumping their fist and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, to me, that was the best song on the album. The next best songs on the album, because I want to move along here. Giants in the Sky, that was a closer. That was the closer on the album. That thing was tremendous. Just another fist pumper. And you can like, yeah, that was the riffs on it were amazing. Another anthemic kind of song. And it literally ended the album on a high note with one of Halford's signature high notes. You don't get a lot of those on the album. You got one on "As God Is My Witness." You get a good Halford wail on that one, and that was probably the first one I really noticed on the album. That was a good one. Uh, "Trial by Fire" was good. Nice mid-tempo song. "Escape from Reality" that was a really good one. It was more of a more groove laden as far as the songs go on the album. That was probably the grooviest one on the album. Not to sound like a hippy dippy kind of person, but that one. And then Sons of Thunder, that was a good track. But again, I'd probably say if I were to rank the songs on the album, I'd probably say that one was right above Serpent and the King as far as they were my favorites. They were there for me. But yeah, I mean, lots of signature Priest uh, musicianship, a lot of twin leads, harmonizing, a lot of harmonic leads on the stuff. Scott Travis, his drumming's off the charts good with the blistering kick drums and just the fills and all the other stuff and the rhythms but that he and Ian Hill put together for the songs, laying down the foundation. So you get Richie Faulkner and Glenn Tipton doing their thing over top of it is tremendous. You can't praise Rob Halford enough. I mean, the guy's he's in his late 70s and he still sings like he does. And I'm sure someone will say, oh, there's lots of Pro Tools and stuff like that going on with the recording process. But regardless, the album is tremendous. Halford sounded great. The band sounded great. Lots of the songs hit for me. It's definitely as far as some of the stuff I've listened to so far, as far as new releases, this one's at the top of the list, definitely. And so it's ranking right up there with Vincent Crowley's album. That was really good. The Obsessed one was really good. There's a couple more that I'm looking forward to that are coming out here pretty soon that I like to see how they turn out. Um, yeah, so that's my review of the album. Now I'm going to pose a question to everybody. So comment down below if you have an answer or you have a suggestion for this. When Priest does tour, they hit the States and they start doing a tour for however long, however many months, weeks, or what have you. What songs from this album do you think they'll put on the set list? Which ones would you like to see put on the set list? Do you think they're going to put any on the set list? Chances are they'll probably put the hits on the set list, but I hope they put Crown of Thorns on there. I think that'd be a really good one. I would like to see Giants in the Sky. Chances are they'll put Panic Attack and Serpent and the King. I'd rather not see Serpent and the King if they do come to your town. And I don't know, depending on the pricing, if they do go out on a full blown assault and tour and all that, and they come to Tampa, I'll see. I'll see how much tickets are, if, who's open for them, and everything. Because frankly, I am still a little pissed that they did the whole farewell gimmick, and I bought on that. Me and a buddy of mine, we went to go see them. Black Label opened, and it was a good show. I didn't really care for the whole they close out with breaking the law, and then half the song Halford had the crowd singing. And it's like, okay, if you can't do it, then I don't know why do it if you can't do it. But Anyhow, that's my reviews on both Judas Priest and Saxon. Uh, Judas Priest was great. Saxon, not so much so. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the reviews. Got more stuff coming down the pike. You probably, by the time you see this, you'll see I've thrown a combo punch at you, combination of videos at you. I got some more stuff in the pipes, and yeah, at that point, I'm losing steam right now because I'm trying to think about what I'm formulating my workout strategy. So I'm kind of getting distracted now. So I'm going to sign off here. Hope you enjoy the video. I will say actually, thank you to everybody. I just surpassed 100 subscribers on my channel. Not like that's a big deal, and I'm not trying to be tacky and talk about my subscriber count and all that. But it was a milestone. It was a goal I was trying to reach. I do enjoy meeting and then exceeding goals if I can. So that was cool. And like I was telling, because I woke up today and I got a message on my phone that Trevor from Fumes of Hatred, hails to Trevor, and Paul Kreutz from Kai, Hawaiian Death Metal. Great channels, fantastic musician. Definitely check out his stuff if you haven't already. Trevor's got a great channel. I totally appreciate the fact on his last video that he did, he was playing some grunge truck. I think they're underrated grunge band from back when I was younger, back when the grunge thing was happening. Just they just never caught a break. They're just one of those bands, and I like those types of bands. I don't know, the underdogs, the underground stuff like that, the kind of more rare gem sort of things. But anyhow, woke up, saw a message from Trevor saying, congrats on the 100 subscribers, 100K. Yeah, I wish, really. But that was cool. It's a cool little milestone to reach. I was kind of hoping that that'd be the first one. Like I was telling him, I guess, geez, I don't know. I guess next, what do you go for, like 500 or something like that, and move on from there? Just do it exponentially. I don't know. I'm surprised that 5 people watch my dumb channel. So, and any support is appreciated. So just thank you again. And hopefully I don't disappoint you and bore you to tears in the future. And yeah, that's it. I'm just babbling at this point. Just wanted to say thanks, appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Not to sound like some sappy, groveling, needy jackass, but again, I do feel like it's necessary to point that out, that I do appreciate that people are watching my channel, you're sharing it, telling people about my channel, and I appreciate all the cool comments, people saying, "Oh, he's cool as fuck. Oh, he's a chill dude. He's awesome." All it's, I appreciate it. I guess get to know me a little bit better. You might have a different opinion. I don't know, but so that's all I got for you now. So in the meantime, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe, and I will catch you on the next video. Later, and again, regardless of whether you celebrate or not, have a happy Easter. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. I'm sure it'll be crazy wherever you're from. It's always crazy down here. And that's it. I will talk to you next time. Later.